get to not follow anybody and complain about leadership. You don't get to not follow anybody and then complain about leadership. So I'm going to say this. This is what I'm actually going to close on. Again, it is a man's divine responsibility to protect a woman. That is why we were made a third larger than you. The way that protection works is you move from your father's house, you find a man of character and submit yourself as a wife to a man of character. And then that man becomes responsible for protecting you. Leadership's wife is more safe than you with a gun and a dog. And I'm going to tell you something. I live in Michigan. And in Michigan, you got the Arab community. You got the largest community of Arab people in the entire country. I don't know if y'all know that. And guess what? Don't nobody fuck with Arab women here. You want to know why? Because they know that if you mess with an Arab girl, you messing with somebody's wife. That and they showing up. And ain't gonna be no questions, ain't gonna be no nothing. They know that you ain't dealing with some woman that's bit out, just bidding over for people. They know it. They know it. Especially a woman with a hijab. Oh my God, a woman with her hair covered? That's somebody's mama. That's somebody's wife. The cuzzos are showing up in full force and they will beat you into the ground. But that's their community. The women respect the men. It's a totally different animal. None of them are single and independent and don't need a man. They marry in their 20s. They're not screwing and having random babies by random dudes. They're not doing any of that shit. They don't have messages. They're not Sukiyana twerking in front of abortion clinics. They're making jokes about unaliving kids. They're none of that. They're none of that. The Arab women are none of that. The men don't play about their women. Let me tell you something. This is something that's disgusting to me that I found out. So Arab men love black girls. They love y'all. Well, who wouldn't? Y'all the most beautiful race of women on the planet. Right? But here's the problem. They don't wife them. If they get one pregnant, they cut a check. They'll keep cutting checks. But when it's time for them to get married, they're not taking you home to meet Bibi. They're not taking you home to meet Jiddu. Habibi, you're not coming home. You're not coming home to meet their family if you get pregnant. They're not wifing you. And so I talked to a dude that was an Arab guy. We sitting up drinking hookah or drinking a little bit and having some hookah. And he was with his boys. So he was feeling flamboyant. You know, he spoke directly to me. He's like, you know why we love black girls? He's like, because we know that y'all don't ride for them. They ain't got no dads. They unprotected. That's what he said. He said we don't want to run up the numbers on our own women. So we deal with black girls. And black girls busy flexing, thinking that they divesting. Meanwhile, less than 5% of y'all marry out. When you do marry, less than 5% of you marry out. And you think by bending over by a man of a different ethnicity is going to get you a ring, and it's not. And y'all sit up and kick all this divest shit. And because the only numbers, the only statistics that y'all know anything about are the ones that tell you how many degrees you fucking got, you don't know that 95% of you marry black men when you do marry. 27% of you marry ever. And 95% of those marriages are to black men. 5 of them are to men of different races. Of those 5 to men of other races, 4 of those 5 are to white men. And 1 out of those 5 are divided between Arab, Asian, Indian, and everything else. Y'all are not marrying out like that. These cultures are more patriarchal. Asians are not less patriarchal than black men who were raised by single mothers. We marry more baby mamas than any race of men on the fucking planet. Arab men are not less patriarchal. They're not going to put up with you coming into their lives with somebody else's kids. So this divest shit is a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream. So I say all of this to say, ladies, here's your best bet. Here's your best weapon against the 1% of men who are doing 63% of violent crime. Get a husband. That's the person that's going to show up and blow up. When men see that ring on your finger, ladies, They know that if they fuck with you, somebody else is going to show up. And ain't nobody playing about their wife. Ain't nobody playing about their wife. Men don't want to deal with another man. They don't know where he's coming from. They don't know if he's willing to fucking tear you apart. They don't know what type of time he's on. You want protection. The way protection manifests needs to be the ethnic image of the women is that they're wives. If you were wives, if people saw you as wives, people don't see black women as wives. Why is that? Does it have anything to do with anything y'all say or do? Right? I know y'all want to quickly blame it on the men, but do you think any of the shit that's a dominant narrative that when I go into these chats and I go into these rooms and I'm having these conversations and the women tell me that they want a man and don't need a man? I can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without fucking peanut butter. I can have a family without a husband. Do you think it has anything? I mean, I'm not asking you to take all the blame. Because a lot of these dudes are soft as baby shit. They was raised by you, though. But once you become an adult, you become responsible for yourself. So I'll lay that at the feet of the man for not finishing his own development. It's fucked up, but that's what manhood is. You take responsibility, right? But my point is there nothing there's nothing that you think black women are doing that contributes to you being the victim of this shit more often than other races of women? Nothing? You don't think nothing? Nothing. It's just you. It's just all the men and shit, huh? Nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. I want a man. I don't need a man. Body count don't matter. I can fuck whoever I want, whenever I want, however I want. It don't matter if I have another man's kids. If you don't want to take care of them, it's because you weak. You hate your mama. I'm single. I'm independent. I don't need a man. Black men need to step up. They need to do this. They need to do that. I don't want an average man. I don't want to average this. And you an average ass woman. None of it. Kill them in the womb. Unalive the babies in the womb if they males. Princella, why does she have your support? Explain to me why. I want you to imagine that an LGBTQ man, a man who does not want women, who hates heterosexual relationships, is telling men to not deal with women and come over and be LGBTQIA too. Because the women ain't shit. And because he's willing to agree with all the reasons that we have problems with women, we're following him. We're making him rich. That's what y'all doing with Princella. Why would you think a woman who doesn't date men can give you good advice on men? She's a baby. She was married and then had kids and then got a divorce and don't have a man, don't want a man. You think that she did what she did because she had some type of divine realization? She gave up trying to get along with men because she doesn't want to take a look at herself. Because there are good men, right? There are some people get married and they're happy, right? There are some men who get married to women and those women are happy. Positive relationships do exist, right? So why can't you get one? Is it easier for you to say that all the men are bad? You think that's the case, that all the men are just dog shit? That's what you think? It ain't got nothing to do with you? It's got nothing to do with how you behave? Nothing? Nothing? Cool. Whatever. Whatever. You ladies win. You won. You won. You don't need nobody. You win. You just didn't think about all of the shit that come along with it. You didn't think this independent shit through. You thought you could cherry pick from the table that you flipped over. You thought you could just cherry pick off of it. That you keep the parts that you like. And unfortunately, ladies, that dog don't hunt. So I personally, this shit here, this woman getting attacked is heinous. It's heinous and it breaks my heart. And I believe it's the responsibility of men the divine responsibility of men to protect women. I do. But if men owe you protection, what do you owe back? And if your answer is nothing, fuck these men, then I don't have a problem with that. You probably out here getting whatever it is that you deserve. I don't give a shit. That's your business. That's your business. I want black women to be concerned with their ethnic image, the dominant narratives that are amongst black women. I want black women to stop supporting women who catastrophize relationships, heterosexual relationships. I want black women to stop supporting women who try to teach you that marriage is a patriarchal white supremacist tool of oppression, as if they weren't getting married in Africa before white men came, as if they weren't getting married in Asia before white men came, as if they weren't getting married in the Middle East before white men came, as if no marriages existed in Egypt, as if marriage is just a white patriarchal concept and white men created it so that they could control you and oppress you. If you ladies, if that's the type of time you want, no problem. You get what you get. But if you want to take control of your ethnic image, you need to go back against women who are trying to model the community off of a couple of hand-picked tribes in Africa that are matriarchal, that never built a fucking structure taller than a goddamn wigwam. You think that we want in 2023, right? In this highly competitive country where we all have to compete. You think the way we're going to get the way that we need to be is through a fucking matriarchy? We have a clear picture of what the other cultural groups are doing. They get married and they have their kids inside of marriage. And not